Alrighty, we are here now with head coach Tom Molony after two pretty tough, but I would say pretty successful duels in the GLVC. Let's start right at the beginning of the day. Nate Wishney comes out, gets a win at 133 after the forfeit at 125 against UIndy. And when you're going into facing a nationally ranked team like that, how important is it for that first guy out to come out and really set a tone?
100%. I mean, it's really everything. Because when we have a guy that can come right out of the gates and put a W on the board, that is a sign to our guys that we are competitive and we are going to be in this match the entire way, or in the dual meet the entire way. So, that was huge. Nate's a good wrestler. He really is. And he's just getting better and better every week, and he shows it when he's out here. He's doing all the right things. That second duel, a couple positions, and it's a different outcome. So, yeah, he's growing. I love it. I love watching him.
Awesome. Let's talk some more about some growth. A sophomore, LJ Davenport, he's getting didn't wrestle a whole lot last year, dealt with some injuries and stuff, so getting some opportunity this year. Gets his first win in the GLVC, and kind of a back and forth bout. With, each guy had kind of their own runs, but really grinded out the 12-6 win. Yeah,
he there are a few things that we got to do with LJ to make sure that we're holding position. But I think he's another kid who's really made a lot of jumps from last year to this year. I know he came in with a pretty high profile coming out of high school, and I think we're starting to see the fruits of that now. And, we've got a great coaching staff that's really working hard with him, and he's doing the things we're talking about, but, I mean, it's not the end of the season. So we've got a few more little fine points that he's picking up on, and he's, that 12-6 win now is going to look like a major decision or closer to a tech fall near the end of the season, because he's starting to really get going now, and I'm excited for what the rest of the season is going to look like for him.
Great. Well, let's talk about another freshman, John Golson, there towards the end. I mean, he's kind of turning into somebody I think conference schools are going to look out for, potentially a freshman of the year kind of guy. Let's talk about him, 2 wins today.
Yeah, John Golson. He is, he's the kid who does everything. He's always asking questions. He's always making effort to improve, and you can see it out there. He listens. Which is not something that everybody does, but it's something that John absolutely does. He's always checking the bench. He's always looking to his coaches to see what we're talking about. He's got that ear. I mean, it's really hard. Anybody who's wrestled before and has headgear on knows you can't really hear anything. But John homes in on our coaches, listens to what we're talking about, and he's doing all the right things. He's in the room. He's doing all the right things. And I think he is a guy that – that's bringing up our profile for sure, let alone his own. He came out of high school with a good profile as a wrestler, but I think really now in Division II wrestling, he's showing that he absolutely belongs here. And I expect that, by the end of the season, a lot of people are going to know his name because of what he does, because he takes the time to do it right. And it shows out here. So I'm excited for him. I'm excited for us, because he is actually, when I get emails from prospective student athletes, they mention John Golson. And so that's exciting for me, because guys are like, and that's what you want as a coach, is they pick out a guy or two and they're like, how do I get in and work out with this guy? How do I get in with this guy?
Students are always the best recruiters.
100%.
So.
Yeah. Whether it's verbal or just action, and John does both, but specifically action right now. And I'm excited for, him and us, what he's going to bring to us. And he's a great leader, and when he gets pumped up and when he's doing things, you can see how our bench reacts, and that's huge. So I'm excited for him, and he's a great kid to be around. So
yeah, absolutely. He's fun to watch, very competitive. Let's talk about 2 guys who really bounced back, suffered a couple of tough losses there in the first duel, but came back, got pins in the second duel. That's Mario Quezada and Jackson McIntyre.
Yeah, I mean, Mario in that first one, he went up against the number, I think, 13 guy in the country, something like that.
I think 7. I looked it up. So
okay.
7. Yeah, top 10.
Yeah. So I mean, that kid from Indianapolis he's good. He's just good. And I mean, you saw it when they wrestled Ouachita, and Mario is right there. I think one of the things that he's got to do is he's got to wrestle to his height and to his body, as opposed to trying to wrestle like somebody who's 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, he is on the smaller side of some of those heavyweight guys. Some of those guys are pushing 6'3",
but
6'4".
He's a power lifter outside of this. He literally does strongman competition. So, when he puts his hands on guys, they know this is no walk in the park. So we're excited for him because, and again, like on those underhooks, if he just kind of takes 2 steps to the right to the side of the hook, we have more scoring opportunities. So it's literally those minor details. If we fix those, come the end of the season, we're looking at a very different match than we saw in either one of those. And it was great for him to go out and get that fall, especially against a team like Ouachita, who's really up and coming too. It's exciting to see these guys do that stuff. So I'm thrilled.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about progress from year 1 to year 2 in the GLVC. I know you weren't here for year 1,
right.
But going back and looking at it, shut out by UIndy last year. This year you win 2 bouts.
Yeah.
Much more lopsided score against Ouachita last year. Honestly, without the forfeits there in the open classes, this could potentially be your first GLVC win, or at least a very different score because it was very close there with the guys that you had. So, I've got to assume that you're very happy with the progress from year 1 to year 2 and from the start of the year to now.
Yeah, I really did think that, if we're being honest, I was happy with the way we performed against UIndy. We know who they are. We know what they've accomplished, so that's not lost on us.
They're good for a reason. They're ranked
good
for a reason.
Yeah, and they've been good for a long time. And Coach Wortham, he's really good at bringing his guys up and coaching them up. And same thing with Coach Crutchmeyer over at Ouachita. But I really do feel like we are making the progress. I feel like when guys look around and they're like, whoa, what is happening over at William Jewell, even with the limited roster that we currently have, but with the guys that we're recruiting now and the guys that are coming in, it's going to be such a different look in the coming years. And I'm really excited about that because, I think people expected this is a tough academic school. This is a tough place to be. Our admission standards are a little different, so I think people kind of wrote us off right away, and we're showing that you can do both. We try to model ourselves off of what the Ivies and the Ivy adjacents do in Division I, and I think we're doing it. We've got very smart kids. We've got our tagline critical thinkers, and that extends into the wrestling room too, and that's and you can see the fruits of that because, like you said, without that forfeit and the double at the beginning, and literally maybe 2 positions, we win that duel. We win that second duel, and we probably keep the score much closer with UIndy, which is exciting because they are good, and so I'm like over the moon right now with the direction that this program's going and, the duels that we have coming up because I know we're going to be competitive and I know a lot of guys are going to, where maybe last year teams would have brought their backups. They're not going to do that now. They're not going to have a choice because they know we're serious and they know we are very good and they know our guys work hard and we'll bring it, and they're going to have to claw, fight, and scratch for every single position and every single point because William Jewell will absolutely do that, and we're not going to back down from anybody. So I'm psyched.
Absolutely. We're excited for the rest of the season. Excited for the performance today. I believe we're back next Sunday,
Yes, ma'am.
Against Drury.
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll be back at it again, and we'll see you then. Congratulations and good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome.